Hello?
I need to wash my hair, and I'm really just hating this how much shine is on the top of my head.
That is funny.
Oh my gosh. And my hair is newly dyed, so it's like darker than it would normally be because it's like fresh.
It's got
And
that,
it's really
maybe you got
just
the shine dye. Maybe that's what it is.
no, it's the grease. I need to wash out of my hair. Oh my gosh, I hate this. I,
Just blur
but
it,
also
blur it out.
I look,
Fix it in post.
yeah, I'll just blur
A
here the
censor.
whole time. But also if I just sit like this, I feel like I look bald as well. So there's no winning.
Just do what
Um,
I'm doing. Put on a little filter hat.
oh my gosh, I should have. Didn't even think about it. I could
Now's
just
the
put a
time.
hat on right now.
Do it. Go put on
It's
something
okay.
ridiculous.
Um, Becca, should I? Here are my options for dinner.
Chicken and rice.
Pasta? What?
Chicken and rice. Noodles.
No,
And
no. Because I don't, no, I have pasta and I have rice, but nothing to put with the rice. Um, and okay, so really the options are pasta, which I have pasta, which the pasta would be pasta with some corn and a little bit of cheese and then some chili oil. That's the pasta dish, okay? Or the other option is I just get takeout.
you know, making a, what does it say, focaccia that you make every day?
That takes, well, it has to like rest for
Yeah,
hours.
you didn't think about it after you got home today.
No, I could make it tomorrow because I don't have work tomorrow. But
I think you should get takeout just for today. Just for today.
hmm, okay, I'll think
A
about
little
it.
treat. Just for
What
today.
should I get? What should I get?
I don't know what is by you.
But if you could pick anything.
If I was buying it and I could pick anything, uh, I don't know. I rarely eat out. I would go to I'd get pad thai from
Mm. There
where
is a
what's it
Chinese
called?
place near me that does a large meal for only $8.
Sounds like your place.
Or I could, yeah, I mean, that's an option. Oh man. Anyways, also, Becca, update on Survivor?
Real Survivor?
The show Survivor.
Oh,
Becca's asking that because we do a Survivor in our family for our uncle's birthday every year, and it's getting closer, and so
I
people will be
guys,
making
I am
alliances.
unprepared for Survivor this year. I have had no pregame. I'm I'm done for this year.
What are you talking about?
Honestly,
We,
it's not even started for several months, but like I've had very little to no pregame. It's gonna cost me.
I think you'll do better than me. So,
Okay.
because, okay, shall we talk about Survivor for a second? Because our family, so it's like this competition is all within like cousins, aunts and uncles, whatever, whoever wants to compete. But um there's obviously like our immediate family, like my brothers and sisters, and then like my cousins, they have brothers and sisters in the competition. So when I say our family, it's siblings, parents of just us. We have a large number of people who compete in the competition every year. However, there is another family with the same amount of people who compete in it. So everybody targets us and they're like, "Oh, we got to get them because they're the majority." No. Actually, no. And also, we've never worked together until last year.
Which
That's a whole
failed
different story.
miserably, but
Because of you.
no, no, that was Tama first.
But then
After
you.
that, it was me after that, but
And you backstabbed me too, so I don't even
What
wanna
are you
I'm not
talking
even gonna
about?
talk about
That
that.
was decided with a coin flip.
I cannot believe this. I brought you back into the game.
And I
You
appreciate that.
you stabbed me in the back. I don't even remember what my main point was gonna be. Oh
Regular.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think you're gonna make it further than me because within our family unit, they're like, oh, gotta get the minors. But I play very hard and I'm like very invested. And so I feel like they see me as like get Hannah out first.
I
And
do
like
think that.
so like me and you could be playing the exact same game, but they'll take me out first,
That is true.
which
The the
sucks.
the closest I've ever gotten to winning, I tied for first uh 2 times, and then I was decided I got second place by 1 vote several years ago. The only reason I got that far is because everybody, I don't want to say underestimated me, but it's like in Survivor, you want to keep the strong people for the first until it gets individuals, and then individuals, you want to get rid of the strong people. I'm not one of the strong people, but I lasted until individuals, and so I wasn't a threat anymore. And then I got second. But that will never happen again because now everyone knows I can play.
Listen, we need to do some plotting and create like a master plan.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we tried to do last year, but somebody screwed it up.
This master plan will be the master plan.
Okay. My thing is, I don't necessarily want to win. I just want to play all the games.
Yeah,
So,
that's why, like, I don't know. Usually, so the first prize, we have prizes for first, second, third, and usually first prize is cash, but the second and third are things. And I usually want the things more than I want the cash, even though
mhm.
the things cost less than the amount of cash that it is.
Yeah.
But
But hey, oh well. No. My original point, I was talking about the show Survivor. Survivor has announced the cast for season 50, and it's a little crazy. I know you're not very invested into the show. Um, but uh
isn't 50 like a revival, like people who have won in the past, like they've done before?
not necessarily people have won, just everybody who played before. So all returning players. And the one guy I wanted to return is returning, but also we've got an interesting pick. It's an interesting mix, and every Survivor fan, I feel like, kind of has a different take on every because there's also a record number of players 450 that there's ever been. So there's a lot of things going on. But so I'm like diving in, and I'm also just like mostly new era Survivor fan. I don't I have not seen all the seasons because I don't it's hard when you start like really watching a show or like a reality type show, and then you have to go back and watch the earlier seasons that happened 25 years ago, and you're like, wow, this is not the same television as as the as the later seasons. So it's hard for me to go back, and specifically Survivor evolves so much, and like they have to work out the kinks of the show and how everything works, whatever. So the earlier seasons just aren't my Survivor, and I have seen like season one and like from the very beginning I've seen seasons, but there's also 48 seasons, so it's hard to watch everything.
I think
um
reality shows like Survivor are so interesting because the people who are going on have seen the show. They know what other people did. And so it
mhm.
just changes the show over and over. Although Survivor, they record, one comes out as one is recording, so it's kind of in sets of two that people have seen the seasons.
Yes, so like Survivor 48 just finished, and Survivor 49 has already been filmed, but it's not out yet. So the players in Survivor 49 never saw 48 before they started playing. So sometimes things happen where it's like, oh, in 48 we introduced this thing, but the players in 49 still see it as like, whoa, this new twist or whatever. So there's a little bit of that. Like in the cast for 50, there are two players from season 49 who we haven't seen yet. So they're just like a mystery, whatever. Um, but so I'm doing some homework and I'm watching specific seasons so that I can get really invested with season 50. And the season that considered one of the best, but I've never seen. Just started watching it today and it is good. I was finishing the first episode when you
Of which
called me to
season?
like start this and something big was going down. So I gotta get right back to that as soon as this is done. And you know who's on that season? It's the David versus Goliath season. I believe we have three players from this season coming back into season 50. But you know who's on this season? Which is the one player, never even seen his season, but I wanted him to come back for season 50 because I've seen so much about him in Survivor and just in life. His name is Mike White. Do you know him by his name?
I do not. That sounds like every person ever.
He is Ned Schneebly in School of Rock.
Oh, the
He wrote School of Rock and he wrote Nacho Libre. And also his big thing now is White Lotus. He did White Lotus. I know you haven't seen that.
what was he in a Celebrity Survivor or just like
No, when he was on
he just really
Survivor,
wanted to be on the show?
yeah, when he was on Survivor, David versus Goliath, it was like a team of people who have struggled in life and who have whatever, and then the for David, and then Goliath was people who kind of just like are like rocking at life and are Goliaths and whatever they're doing. So he was on as like I'm like a filmmaker and I'm kind of big in my world or whatever, but I really just want to win Survivor. And he is
David.
probably one of the biggest memes from Survivor. Like he's a part of it. Anyway, I just will have to show you some clips of of his season and you'll be like, this guy is amazing.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah, but now he's super big, and so that was a big thing. It's like, oh, because the whole thing is like, oh, people are like, you should do a celebrity season, Celebrity Survivor, and people are like, well, um, Jeff Probst has always been like, I don't really want to do a celebrity season because the whole point of Survivor is like these nobodies are like we're no getting to know their stories and like they're creating these people, but if it's just celebrities who already know who everybody is and like the $1 million isn't really gonna do much for them. And so when he went on this, he had already like he had written I don't I don't even know even what year his season was, but he had written School of Rock and Nacho Libre because he mentions that in the game. So he was famous. But anyways, I'm invested. Survivor is gonna be my main personality for a while.
She's done with Star Wars. No, it's
No,
over
I
now.
just have to. Here's the thing with Star Wars, though. I just have to power through till I get to Ahsoka, which is the main point of the whole rewatch, and it's taking a long time. Oh, but this added layer of Survivor is gonna make it take even longer. So,
I feel like you've always watched like those kind of reality TV shows, Amazing Race, Big Brother, that kind of. I guess Big Brother's not. You haven't watched that forever, but it's
yeah.
those kinds of shows, and I usually dislike those shows, especially like social ones like Big Brother, because I feel like the people that they pick to be on the shows, and they do it on purpose, are like just the worst people, and I hate watching them. but then but like Amazing Race, they have like cool stuff. They're doing cool things. There's cool conflicts. And
Hmm.
Survivor, there's cool like social like oh they said this, so I'm gonna do this. Big Brother is just people yelling at each other.
They do
People
have
like
competitions.
yeah, but it's like hold on to this ledge. The last person who falls
Yeah.
gets to have two votes next round.
Big
Like
Brother, I'm not super invested into Big Brother. I didn't even watch the last season that came out. But I would. I just it got away from me, and they have like 3 episodes a week, and so it stacks up quickly if you're not watching it. So I just didn't even bother. And then Amazing Race was my favorite for a very, very long time and up until very recently. But now I feel like since COVID, it has gone downhill because when they did like the COVID season, they started a season and then COVID hit, so they had to stop because you can't travel. And so then after the COVID season, they like changed up some things and they were like we're adding in new things and doing it a little differently, and they completely took away the essence of what made it awesome. So now like this past season I started watching it and then I was just like I don't even care anymore. Like this isn't the Amazing Race that I know and love. So I didn't even finish that season and I'm like I guess Survivor is like my main show now. Like of that type of show. Like, what do you call that type of show? Because it's not really reality TV and it's not really
Reality
like a
competition,
yeah, I guess.
like game. It's not a game show.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why
it
I'm
is,
like,
but it's not like a reality. I think it's a reality competition.
should we see what Google says?
I think it'll say reality game show,
It just
reality
says
competition.
it's Survivor says it's under reality. So we'll call it reality. Yeah.
Survivor used to be way different too. It used to be like rice and like like I don't know. It's just very different now.
Yeah, that's in the new era. I'm a new era fan. Old era, eh. They're like they like they did it for way longer, but I feel like they were given so much more as well, so it's good. Anyway, we're not talking about Survivor, we're talking about Star Wars. We got to keep going on the Star Wars train so I can hit Ahsoka and
Today
and
is
yeah.
The Force Awakens, and I had several days to watch it. I did watch it, but like most of the time when you give me homework, I'm like, I don't have time. I have to schedule it, fit it in. I'm like, oh, I don't have time. This one, I was like, I really do not want to watch this movie. I have all the time in the world, and I do not want to watch this movie. So I watched it today, even though I had what 4 days, 5 days. I watched it today. I remembered the movie was exactly how I remembered it, being a movie that it mechanically fine movie. Like there's visuals, there's actions, they got people, but like there's no heart, there's no soul to the movie. It undoes everything they did, and it was like okay. You jump in yours because I'm actually just gonna keep on rambling. I have other things to say though. You start.
Of the sequel trilogy, is this the only one you've seen?
This is the only one I've seen in full. I have technically I've seen eight. I we When we got it, I watched it, but I couldn't tell you anything that happens in it.
Because I know you haven't seen 9.
Yeah, that one I've never seen.
Okay. Because there's something that happens in 9 that like is kind of like a plot twist spoiler type situation, and I have refrained from saying things about that because you haven't seen it.
Okay.
But this movie, you know, everybody's like, oh, the sequel trilogy is trash and everything about it is awful. This wasn't as bad. Couldn't tell you the last time I watched 7, 8, or 9. Wasn't as bad as people, from my memory, based on what people have said. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because sure, does it recycle some plot points of the other Star Wars movies? Of course. Why wouldn't they?
It's just a mashup of
Yeah.
every movie come out before it.
Yeah, I think it is a mashup of the original trilogy. Um, because let's get a rundown.
Okay, rundown. Watched it this morning, so hopefully I remember. Um, it has been 30 years since Return of the Jedi. Luke is missing. Kylo Ren, who is Han and Leia's kid, is now help is a Sith ish, running the First Order, which is basically the new Empire. There is a Republic that exists, and a rebellion that exists. The rebellion is against the Empire. The Republic is supposed to be for everybody, which is makes sense. Um, Luke is missing. There exists a map to where he is, which first off, ridiculous plot. We'll get back to that later. There exists a map to where he is, even though people have been looking for him for at least a couple of years. Somewhere between 29 and 1. um, the mysterious map is in the hands of Poe Dameron, a rebel fighter. He's on forget Jakku is where he at, Sand Planet. He running around looking for Luke, gets the plans, gives it to BB-8. BB-8 runs away. He gets captured. Kylo Ren has him. No. Yeah, Kylo Ren has him. Takes him up. Stormtrooper decides I don't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. I'm gonna take Poe and we're gonna get the heck out of here. He tries to get the heck out of there, but Poe's like, wait. We have to go back to the planet. They go back to the planet. They crash. Poe is dead. Cry. Um. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go hang out. I guess. Runs to the next town. Finds the droid. He's like, hey, that's the droid. Droid's like, hey, that's my jacket. Rey is a lady who is there. She's a scavenger. She finds BB-8, rescues him. I thought this scene was weird as well. When she's hanging out at her house, this AT-AT she lives in. Is it AT-AT? Because I've always said AT-AT, and I've heard people call them AT-ATs.
I believe it is AT-AT. The AT-AT discussion I feel like shuts down so easily when you're like, well, if you call it an AT-AT, then what do you call an ATST?
ATs.
Yeah. I feel like both of them just sound a little clunky in your mouth.
Yeah, but I think AT-AT sounds stupid. Like it's clunky, but it's also like I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
She's hanging out there. She hears something. She runs very quickly over this hill and like scares off a guy who is also a scavenger. Isn't what she does scavenge? And she stops him from whatever. We'll talk about that later because I feel like that's stupid. Finds her. She's like, wow, I love the rebels. I love the Force. She doesn't really say that, but like she's like, wow. Anyway, all this stuff. They take off in the Millennium Falcon, which was just open for them to run into.
Hmm.
She knows how to fly it mostly. Also weird. They take off. They get chomped by none other than Han Solo himself, who just happened to be in the area. Um, they take the ship and they're like, "Hey, we have a plan to Luke. Let's go take her to the rebels." And he's like, "Maybe we don't have to." There's some action. There's some fighting. Now the Empire, the First Order knows Han has the plan. The rebels know Han has the plan. They get there. We're like, we have the plan. They're like, shoot, this is only one part of, not the plan, the map. It's only one part of the map. Where's the rest of the map? Also ridiculous plot. Uh, what else is there? Whether before or after they talk to the rebels, they go to meet some of Han's buddies to for what I don't even remember for what reason. They go there. And Finn's like, I'm outie. I have to leave. I'm gonna go work for transportation to leave. And Ray's like, no, we were besties. You can't leave. Even though, I don't know, I find their relationship really weird. Whatever. She is snooping around, which is, I think, a dangerous thing to be doing in what I don't know. She's snooping around. She finds Anakin's lightsaber, which I had a discussion about with Dad because it is Anakin's lightsaber.
Hmm.
She finds it. She gets a spooky vision, and then what's her face? Mav, Max, Makes, I don't
with the
remember her name.
goggles.
Yeah, her name's like Mav. It's M-A something.
I can tell you who
Mav.
plays her.
I don't know. She's like, take it. It's yours. Also weird thing, but I get that. That she's like with the force, so it's like whatever. They leave. They're like, here's the dealio.
Maz Katana.
Maz. I was very close.
Hmm.
They get to the rebels. The rebels are like, there's a new Death Star, Star Killer Base. Always there's a new Death Star. I like that. They're like, Death Star, Death Star, Star Killer Base. Always stupid. It's a planet. They get there. We're like, here's the deal. We take down the shields. We blow up the thing. We leave, just like we did with all the other Death Stars, except for this one seems much easier. Um, what else they be doing? I forget. They get there. Oh, Rey's taken captured by Kylo Ren because Kylo Ren's like, I have to find Luke. Uh, and she knows where she is, and but she's like strong with the Force. That's crazy. She realizes she's got the Force. Has never tried to do this before. Immediately Jedi mind tricks at least one guy. Immediately out Jedi's a Sith question mark? Cause see, I don't know if he's a Sith, but like a trained person of the Force immediately outforces him. First mind tricks him back, and then later takes a lightsaber from him, even though he was closer and trying to get at it first. What else is there? I'm forgetting. They have some battles. They have whatever. They fight. Finn is injured. They come back. Han Solo finds Kylo Ren while they're at the base, and he's like, "Son, come back to the light side." Kylo Ren's like, "No, I'm like obsessed with Darth Vader. I can't do that. But also, I'm trying to like get rid of my attachments to the light side, so maybe you could help me with that." Shing! Stabs him with the lightsaber. Uh, what else is in this movie? They blew up 5 planets with this Death Star. Then they blew up the Death Star. Uh, how does it end? Oh, they just wake up Arturito, who was
Arturito.
snoozing. Arturito. They go, oh, he turned off when Luke left. But he has 98% of a map to where Luke went. Also odd. And they're like, let's put the pieces together. Ah, magic! We know where Luke is! They send Rey with Anakin's lightsaber. They go to the little thing. He's on this rock. They get there, and she's like, for a very long time, she just points the lightsaber at him, and he's like, they show a close up of both people twice, and then they show a wide shot. They're standing, not speaking, looking at each other for a very long time, and then the movie ends. The first time I watched that movie, my least favorite, I had stuff to say about that last scene where they're just looking at each other. I was like, that's stupid. Here are my thoughts on this movie. It is every movie. It is the original trilogy, every part of it, with new people. Some of them are not even new people. Um, I I'm confused about what happened to Luke. I'm confused about what's the deal with Kylo Ren. Um, I am also confused how easily Finn was able to defect. Um, Considering they knew at least a little bit that he was going to defect, cause he leaves and they're like, it was one of our own, and they're like, who is he? And they're like, it's this guy, and he's like, well, has he done anything bad before? And they were like, yeah, we put him into like he's never done anything, but we he did something very recently. I don't know if it was because he didn't shoot at people in the very first scene, but they're like, we put him into like reconditioning. He's currently in reconditioning,
Hmm.
and then he's like decides to leave and takes Poe and
Which also a little note on Finn. When they break into the new Death Star to go save Rey, and he's like, "No, no, I know what's up. I can get you in. I can do all the things." And they get there, and Han's like, "So what was your job title?" And he goes, "Oh, I work sanitation." Um,
They
then
send
why
out
were
the
you out on the
sanitation
field?
guys to kill people.
Yeah. What?
Sanitize the world of those rebels. Like,
Yeah. Wait a second. Wait a second. That doesn't add up.
to be fair, he did say that was his first battle,
Yeah,
which
but
he
how did he go from sanitation to
I
battle?
don't I don't know. I think his plan to so he gets there, told everyone he can take down the shield. He does not know how to do that. So he's like, but I know a guy who does. Puts a gun into Captain Phasma's face, and she just does it. Never, never, like, I wonder if it's in the, I think it's in the how it should have ended, where we're like, why would you think that she would just do it? She, you could just not do it. You could just tell them that they did it. She can alert everybody that you're there. I always rewatch this and think that's what she does. She doesn't.
She didn't want to get blasted.
She could have just grabbed it from him. It was right here. I don't
Listen,
know. Disappointed in Captain Phasma. Um, I don't know. Lots of stupid things in this movie. Um, although I feel like I remember the eighth one being worse, which it probably is. I think as a movie, as its own movie, unrelated to anything Star Wars, it's still okay. Like I said, it looks like a movie, but it has no movie in it.
I did
So
have a thought at the end of this movie. I'm like, we accomplished nothing.
yeah,
What even happened? Where were we the last 2 hours? It wasn't a bad movie. It was just like I feel like like you're saying like there was nothing to it.
I think it was like, what did people like about the other movies? Checklist? Oh, we need this checklist. Oh, we need check. We have all these things in the movie, but
Hmm.
we left out the movie.
Yes.
I
I
think there are
also
many
thought
things.
in my head it ended how the eighth one starts. Do you remember like the opening? I don't know if it's the opening scene, but it's one of the first things in the eighth movie
Like the first
where it's Rey and Luke on the island and Rey takes the lightsaber from or Luke takes the lightsaber from Rey and then like throws it.
oh yeah.
In my mind, I was preparing for that to be the ending. And then I was like, "Oh, wait, yeah, it's just nothing."
Do you know like the monkey?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But with this. I don't
Also,
know.
the opening credits, is that what we call them with
Yeah.
the in a galaxy far, far? The opening credits. It gives you the spiel, it tells you what's going on. First thing I'm thinking, I'm up to date on my Star Wars, okay? I'm clearly in this. I've been watching and I know what's happening. Actually, Ahsoka Ahsoka takes place before this, right?
I don't know.
I think it does. Shoot, I was gonna make a point, and this totally trashes my point. Hold on. Because Mandalorian is right after episode 6, and then there's Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew or something. And then okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, yes. Actually, Ahsoka is before this. However,
We're not gonna count it for your point.
it's not really about Luke. I know Luke shows up, but I doubt it shows the story of why Luke goes away and all that. Because we get a little bit of the backstory of what happened to
What they say in this movie is they go, Luke was training some Jedi. One person, obviously Kylo Ren, was being a butt and decided to join the dark side. And then Luke took that personally and decided to exile himself for many years.
yes. So you're thinking, mm, opening credits. Why is Luke in hiding? And also, who's running the new empire? Because Palpatine and Vader are gone.
Okay, let me talk about this for just a second. Here is a full timeline. We begin in the prequels. There is a republic. The galaxy is controlled by the republic. Over the course of many movies, the republic is infiltrated by by separatists, by Sith, by whatever. They just kind of change. They're still a republic, but it changes. The republic morphs into the empire, kind of. They're now the empire. Empire be doing stuff. Now there's the empire and there's the rebellion. The rebellion is fighting the empire, but the empire is the government. Then then in Return of the Jedi, they get rid of Vader, they get rid of Palpatine. It crumbles the whole empire. They make a new republic. That's what they say. I've not seen any of the shows. I don't know if it actually happens, but they say that they're reinstating a republic. And then the whole galaxy is like party time the whole time. So there is a republic. In this movie, 30 years later, there is a republic. That's the government. And then there's a new order, first order, who is not technically the government, and then there is a rebellion against the first order. In this movie, they get rid of the republic. They blow them up. To make then now the first order is the new empire. Uh, what was my point? I forgot.
I said, who's running the new empire? Palpatine and Vader are gone.
Oh yeah, here was the second thing I was talking about. Then I might have only half a point for two. Luke was training some Jedi. One of the Jedi was Kylo Ren. There are no more Sith, to my knowledge. Uh, but obviously, the way that they treat Kylo Ren, it was not him who decided to join. He was like, I'm gonna join the dark side. I like being angry and stuff. He was seduced by Snoke, I don't know about him at all. They've got like the Knights of Ren. Don't know about that. I have no knowledge.
I don't
Where
think
did
those
he come
ever come
from?
back, by the way. The Knights of Ren are just some mysterious group that are mentioned, to my knowledge, never explained.
Okay,
Because
so
Kylo Ren, Knights of Ren, Kylo Ren, he isn't that high up necessarily in this moment, although he has his own knights.
I thought he was one of the knights. I thought so you know how it's like Darth Maul, Darth Vader. Those are like Palpatine's bros. These are like Snoke's bros, the Rens. That's what how I thought it was. What it was.
I always thought it was Kylo Ren, the Knights of Ren. So they're
I
like under Kylo.
I'm not sure.
But
I
also
don't know who they
I
are.
don't know if they ever are explained or come back. So
Yeah, I don't know who they are or when or whatever. Is Snoke a Sith?
where did Snoke come from?
I don't know.
I was
I do.
thinking, how can they cut down all of the Jedi at once? Order 66. Okay, 99% of the Jedi. Okay? But they somehow can't get rid of the Sith. They just keep popping up. They're just like the Sith is never gone. Doesn't make any
Here,
sense.
this is a question for me. Or like here's what I'm saying. Anakin is the chosen one, right? The words they use in the prequels are destroy the Sith, bring balance to the Force. Those are the exact phrases. Not sure about if there's more to the prophecy, if there's more whatever, who the prophecy, whatever. Not sure about that. Those are the words they use in the prequels. Whether or not those things are the same action or separate, I'm not sure. Darth Vader, Anakin successfully destroys the Sith, being him and Palpatine being the only surviving Sith, because all of other Palpatine's bros got killed by the Jedi, and then he does die himself. No more Sith. Assuming balance is restored to the Force by having no more Sith, which I feel like balance would mean that there would be Sith and Jedi, but that's whatever. Like, where did the Sith come from? Why is the Force? Why? What did it? Why?
I think in um I saw somewhere where some guy was talking about all of these same problems with the pre or the sequel trilogies as well. It's like we bring things up, we never explain. We bring things up, never come back. They never show up again. I think he said something where it's like in one scene off somewhere sometime, you'd see Snoke in like the background and he's like in a container like being made. And I'm like, so who did that though? But who did that?
All of these questions, I do not know. Okay, here's something I found out today that I did not fact check. Let me actually fact check this real quick. You actually keep talking for a sec.
Okay. One thing I will say that I did okay, a couple of things I did really enjoy about this movie. The beginning, excellent. I think the jump right into the action with Kylo Ren and the gang totally destroying is it Jakku?
Yeah,
Just demolishing that place up, and then also we get a little, I mean, we learn to uh that Finn is a main character, but the beginning it's just like some rando stormtroopers like POV. Interesting, cool. We've never seen that before. I love the beginning. It's very good. I also love how Kylo Ren has a temper because
he's just a little kid. Like,
he's just, yeah.
which, like, it may, when in other movies, when Luke or Anakin are tempted by the dark side, oh, the dark side, the dark side, they're like tempted, not tempted. People try to, they're like, you can use this to like your thing is love, your thing is your friends, your thing is like his thing is he's just a brat. Kylo Ren's just a brat. You know, oh, you want to be angry? You can be angry with the Force and then be powerful. And
hmm
I feel like that's
He is a good example of the dark side in the fact that he truly is about hatred and revenge. Darth Vader, again, I've said it once before and I'll say it again. I'm not fully convinced that he is the perfect example of the dark side because he kind of just got stuck in this situation. Yes, he did bad things. Yes, whatever. But Kylo Ren is like a better example of like, like I hate you and I am fully in the anger of it, and he shows that in his actions and his temper tantrums, which I love. I love.
I
Kylo Ren is my favorite Star Wars character. Love Kylo Ren. I think he has a good story. I think again, like he is a true villain in this movie, and I think he does have a character arc, however well developed that may be, whatever. He's my favorite Star Wars character.
I think okay, so in Return of the Jedi, uh Darth Vader pops back into Anakin for a sec right before he dies. And he's like, Luke, we're besties. I'm on the light side now. You're awesome. Peace out. Dies. Luke takes him home, gives him a like a nice funeral, Viking fire. Does he not tell anybody that like Vader switched sides? He sees him as a Force ghost, but like, although I understand maybe you are not the best at convincing everybody that the head, the right hand man of the Empire actually was good in the past, but like Kylo Ren idolizes Darth Vader. It's mentioned
Hmm.
several times in this movie. And he has his head. Weird, also. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of finding things that are should not have been found in this movie. Like, why did you keep his head? Where did that lightsaber? Okay, Anakin's lightsaber. I'm jumping around a little bit.
Hmm.
Given to Luke in A New Hope. He has it in Empire Strikes Back. He loses it, I believe, in Cloud City, and it falls down all the way down. Am I correct about that?
I believe so. Yeah.
He then makes a new green lightsaber, his own lightsaber, in between before Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Um Where did they get they? But the lightsaber that they find that's in the chest with uh her face, whatever her name is, with that Rey finds,
Hmm.
is Anakin's lightsaber.
Yes.
Where do they find that? They just
I will
pick it off
say
out the
I
ground?
I like the idea that Anakin's saber is in every trilogy. The logistics of it though don't make sense as you pointed out. Where did it come from? They even like Han's even like, "Where'd you get this?" And she's like, "I'll tell you at a different time." That's a different story. But like, and also, yeah, if somebody found that, how did she end up with it? It being one of the biggest, whatever.
And she
Yeah,
just keeps it in an unlocked drawer in the first room in the basement that she allows people to snoop in.
yes. I the logistics make zero sense. However, I do like the symbolism. I like the
Yeah,
idea of it.
I
But
think it's much more blue in this movie too. When they use it, it's like blue.
yeah.
Also, same thing with the like Millennium Falcon. I understand that they lose it after Return of the Jedi because Lando has it and then they it gets lost. Number one, it ends up in a junkyard in a in a in a
Hold
sand
on, hold
planet
on,
full of just junkyard. What?
hold on. You're saying Han doesn't get possession of it by the end of Return of the Jedi?
In Return of the Jedi, when he gives it to Lando, he says, "I think this is the last time." I get a strange feeling. This is the last time I see her. He is not. They are not on the same planet in the at the end, so I assume he doesn't see it.
Does Lando not go to Endor?
No,
Because in my
he
mind,
he's in the sky of Endor fighting.
but also there's still the like resistance. So in my mind, watching this movie, I was saying, there is no way I find it believable that Han loses possession of his ship.
Well, I always thought that's what happens in Return of the Jedi. Like he just loses it and then like it loses hands, loses whatever. My problem is not with him losing it, however unbelievable that may be. My problem is that one, it ends up on Jakku. Someone brought it there. Someone had to have brought it there because the
Hmm.
only thing in that area and that planet is old spaceships from when they were fighting there. The when which the Millennium Falcon wouldn't have been because they were done fighting with that ship, assumedly. Um, it's in the hands of the head honcho. That is believable. That it's kept so very close to the city and that it's unlocked. Uh, and that it doesn't work. Well, that it doesn't work is fine, but like just open and Ray knows what it looks like on the inside, which means that she has been inside it before. I
Rey
don't know.
knows everything in this movie.
Yeah, for what reason? I feel like she's also a brat. I don't like her.
Yeah, she's not my favorite. And it shows in the other movies, but again, no spoilers. I just, here's my biggest complaint with this movie. You can talk about the storyline or whatever, the logistics, whatever. The biggest thing, like, if I'm just sitting down and watching this movie and I'm not thinking about it, I'm just gonna enjoy this movie. The one thing that like gets me a little bit is the like the one-off comments that are like supposed to be funny. I find they are not funny and they take me out of the movie experience.
Like what?
For example, the like in the opening scene when Kylo captures Poe
Oh, and
and
he's like, I can't hear you. Like,
well he's like, yeah, who talks first? Do I talk first? I don't know. Like what's like it's supposed to be funny, but it's like that could have been like this really like intense like interrogation scary first order moment, but instead it's like cut down with like a funny moment. Or like when like Chewie has his new bow in this movie and sometimes there are comments made about the bow and being like, wow, this is really nice, or like, I should get me one of these. And it's like, I understand that kind of humor, and like, that kind of humor is used to a degree in the other Star Wars movies. I just think it is not fully executed well in this movie.
I think
And
there are. Oh, I'm interrupting you. Continue.
no,
Wait.
no, you're good.
I think there are a very few bits that are like that, similar, that are good in this movie. It's I think all of them are from Han though. Like when he's like, "That's not how the Force works." I think that's
Well,
acceptable
that,
in character
okay,
moments. I
I
think
say
when
it,
with the same with your crossbow, when he uses the crossbow when they're fighting the monsters, and then he doesn't say anything, but he's like, I think that's believable. I think that's funny. I like it.
yes, that's what I was saying. It's used in the other movies because Han is that guy. So when Han makes those comments, it's totally fine. But like the moment between Poe and Kylo, it's like this is this feels out of place. Who is Poe to be making these comments, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So like I feel like there was more of those moments where I was like, didn't love that versus just Han making whippy little remarks.
I feel like that's similar. Like, so Finn is a stormtrooper. He was taken as at a very young age. He was taken, and then he was conditioned. Like they make a point to say like, I don't know if they memory erase or whatever, but they're like conditioned and they're rated stuff. He is he doesn't act like a stormtrooper at all. He questions authority. He's like weirdly compassionate. Like I don't know. It's stuff like that. It just doesn't seem believable with and like when he makes comments. Like he would if he was a stormtrooper, he's been a stormtrooper for a very long time. He's not like 13 years old. He's been a stormtrooper. He would never act that way as a stormtrooper, which I feel like makes his whole character unbelievable, which is why I also feel like other people when they make those like silly comments, I'm like you would never act that way in a different situation or in a different if like it's not consistent with the characters.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Totally agreed. Yeah, it it also, well, it does make sense for me that Leia and Han are not together because they just kind of had that relationship. Um, but the other choices made in like the relationships in this movie are sometimes off to me. Okay, for example, when Han Solo dies and they all come back to the Rebel base and Leia comes out to greet them, and she knows Han is dead because she can feel it in the Force or whatever. Um, and everybody's coming off the ship, and Leia walks out to meet them. She doesn't go and greet Chewbacca, Han's best friend, and who has been with Leia the entire time. She goes to greet Rey. I met this guy minutes ago and thought he didn't even exist as a real person. She makes comments about how she thought Luke Skywalker was a legend and a myth, and how everything that like that whole crew just like was just like a story. Why on earth does Leia not go and comfort Chewbacca before she comforts Rey? It doesn't make any
The
sense.
the little hug that they do, I feel like it was made for the audience to like be like, "Oh, she's a Skywalker. Look at how they're hugging," which I haven't seen the other movies. I don't think she's a Skywalker. I don't think that's how it turns out. Uh, but like I feel like that was for the purpose of that. Like
Becca, that comment was so good you have no idea. Oh,
okay.
jot that down. I'm gonna write this down right now. What'd you just say? Oh, it was the hug. Hold on. Wait. The hug was meant to be like, oh, she's a Skywalker, but she's not, question mark. Is that accurate? Did you hear any of that?
If you really want it, you can listen to it after we finish recording.
You're so right. You're so right. I'm keeping that note for the rest of the sequel, uh, or yeah, sequel trilogy. Oh man,
Well,
Becca's on top of it.
they do a lot of stuff where the she's strong with the Force. She had visions when she touched Anakin's lightsaber. She like I feel like that's what they're trying to do, but that makes me think that that's not it. And also, the logistics don't work out because didn't her family sell her to what's her face in Jakku?
I want you to keep all of this in mind for the future, Becca.
Okay,
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, you have no idea.
okay,
Uh, but yes, all the points you're making are so valid. Uh,
okay.
anyways,
What was I saying?
anyways.
Oh, Finn and Rey's relationship. All the relationships are weird. I understand how Finn and Poe become best friends because like that's how people be doing when they're in like that kind of situation, like where they're like, I'm breaking you out, I'm breaking you out. We can both fly. We're best friends flying planes. That's fine. I feel
Hmm.
like that's believable. Um, Finn and Rey is weird, and I like how do I say what I'm trying to say? The when Finn first meets Rey, grabs her hand the whole time. She's like, "Don't grab my hand! Don't grab my hand! I can run without you on my hand!" All this stuff, and they're trying to do like tension, whatever. And then like Finn is like, "Oh, is Rey okay? Is this like where? Like all the time we're like, oh, come with me, even though I've met you for one actual day, and like just all this stuff. Also, I feel like out of character for him, and weird, and out of character for a person with Ray's background. I don't like it.
Agreed.
I remember him dying in this movie at the end when he gets all sliced up, but he's not
Oh.
dead.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It's all around just it's a wild ride.
I remember. I feel like I have a this like apart from what other people say and apart from me actually watching the movie, I have like already a disliking like for this movie because it came out originally near-ish my birthday. It might have been on my birthday, and everyone in our extended family and many people in our immediate family went to go see the movie instead of coming to whatever my birthday thing was. And I was like, stupid Star Wars. All the other ones came out also very similar around my birthday, I think.
Yeah,
But
they all came out in December. So,
I remember this. I remember the first one I think came out on my birthday.
I mean,
Upset, but I'm over it. That was
listen.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. That's crazy. It's 10 years ago. Something, I mean, Andor season 2 came out this year. In Andor season 2, I think it's in some kind of promo, so this is not technically a spoiler. It probably is for you because you haven't seen anything. Um, in Andor season 2, like the first episode, Andor steals a TIE fighter, and he like has to figure out how to pilot it. I I enjoyed watching the scene in this movie where Poe knows how to fly a TIE fighter because like why would you know how to fly a TIE fighter? Except for the fact that Andor steals one and like gets that information and brings it back to the Rebel Alliance or whatever. I know it was not a thing when this movie came out, but the connections that they may or may not have intentionally planted, I enjoy those because I think of it as if it all come out came out at the same time. And I think about, oh, did they plan this if they knew that? And would it be this if it was that? That's what I like about them.
Which is interesting for Star Wars because so much conflicts, but there are little bits where you're like, oh, they must have
Yep.
seen the movies, or oh, did they plan that? I like
I'm
that.
sure when they made this movie, they were just like, oh yeah, he knows how to fly everything. But like
Well,
honestly,
this movie, but for Andor, were they like, oh, hey, TIE fighter, TIE fighter, TIE
yeah,
fighter?
it's a good scene. You should watch Andor season 2. You
I
should
should
watch
watch
actually
Andor
just
season one.
Andor. Yeah, you haven't seen season 1. You should just watch Andor.
We should, we just have to get it, and then I'll watch it.
Hmm.
Simple as
Yeah.
that.
That, I mean, the only other note I made was who does Kylo kill in the beginning of this movie? Is he important? He
Uh,
seems like he knows.
he's the guy that had the plan,
Yeah, but why? Who
but
is he?
I feel like they talked about him. He was like, he's a I don't remember who they say he is. I don't know. Mystery guy.
That was the only thing I had also in my notes where I was like, this guy seems important, but I have no idea who he is. So, I'm not sure about that.
That's. I feel like that was me with every person in this movie.
And there
Somebody.
is a chance that, like, there is a chance they just mentioned him one time in one thing and they're like, oh no, now this is that guy.
I
But
believe it.
I don't know. I don't know. This movie is not as bad as everybody says it is.
I'll agree. Cause it's what I'm saying. Where you're like, as a Star Wars movie, it's just a mashup. As its own movie, it's a movie. It does all the things a movie does. It's just
Yeah.
not in my heart, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Are we in
Well,
agreement?
I think we're in agreement.
I think we're in agreement.
I think rewatching this movie makes me even less excited to watch 8. I don't know why. Because I feel like in my mind, like, this is the best of the sequels. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
See, that means I'm not excited to watch the other two.
I don't super remember the other ones either. So, um, something that I will say is I'm pretty sure it was 7 was like fine, 8 bombed. So then when they were making 9, they had this whole story and they completely changed it because 8 bombed. So they kind of just were like, again, let's just put everybody's favorite things into let's do something crazy.
I think,
Uh
okay,
yeah. I won't tell you what
for
that crazy thing is, but
for all the people, all the CEOs, all of the producers making movies who are like, let's be systematic about this. What makes a good movie? What makes the last movie successful? When you're coming up with the list, when you're like, oh, what did you like about Star Wars? Oh, I liked the cantina. I liked the music. I liked the action. However true that may be, I did like all those things. Those are things that I like about Star Wars. It's not actually those things. You don't. If I had a movie that was just full of cantinas and just full of like Han one-liners, it would not make a good movie. We like the variety. We like the sci-fi elements. We like it's just they're getting so close, but that's not actually what we like. Even though, like, do you get what I'm saying?
oh yes. Yep.
Like, if you
Agreed.
just remade all of your favorite parts, if you took your favorite movie and then you like sectioned it out and just picked out your favorite parts and turned those parts into just another movie of the same movie, that wouldn't be your favorite movie. So,
True that. Enough said.
no set.
Well, I think that wraps up the Force Awakens. I always get the names mixed up for
Is it
um,
Force Awakens and then The Last Jedi and then uh I have no idea what the last one's called. Star Wars. Another one. What's
um The Rise of Skywalker,
Oh, stupid. I feel this is you.
which you bring up every time that all the movies should be swapped. The Rise of Skywalker is just not a good name for the last one.
I believe it. In this one, they call it The Force Awakens. Whatever. They do mention an awakening in the Force, but you know
Hmm.
what they mention more? The phrase "The Last Jedi." They mention it many, 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 many times in this movie.
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
they mention it as many times in the next movie? No. I believe Rey becomes a Jedi in the last movie. Aren't there two now? I've I don't remember what happens in the second one, but I believe that's what happens.
Listen, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Which one has Rose? Is Rose the last one?
I don't even know if that's a person or not.
Okay. Never mind. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. All right. I gotta go finish that episode of Survivor I was talking about.
I'm gonna go pretend to make dinner.
Oh, perfect. Okay, toodaloo.
Toodaloo.